With the next episode of BFDIE revealed to be a rejoin, it is time to inspect on who will be the contestant to rejoin BFDIE. There are currently 6 eliminated contestants in the season, and with 6 contestants left, this is most likely the only rejoin. So let's predict who will take the only rejoin spot in this season to continue their story this season. David was a really nice inclusion this season, and it was nice to see him compete in another season since he hasn't for so long, but honestly he's kinda been one of the weaker contestants this season. He doesn't really do much in the competition except either stand around or get into his own shenanigans. So honestly, I don't see any reason for him to rejoin. Not only was he a recent elimination, he just wouldn't have any point in rejoining since he's already had enough content. Next up is Jamie. She definitely has a higher chance of rejoining than David, but she was also a recent elimination and I doubt the only rejoin spot would be wasted on a character that just got out. Though it is weird to see Jamie out already considering she seems like such a prominent character this season and has been relevant every single episode and is one of the more stronger characters this season, I saw her getting more far. But since we are already half eliminated and half competing for the roster, I guess she has made it far, so this is probably as far as she gets. I would be okay with her rejoining. I think Hot Dog is definitely a more obvious choice for a rejoin since he was the first boot and typically first boots get to rejoin. I feel like there wouldn't be much to do with Hot Dog. It may be harsh to say that to someone who was only in one episode, but from what we saw, he was stubborn as hell. He had easier paths for him to complete the challenge, but he chooses the way he believes he was given. Like, what else would they do with him? First boots usually have a higher chance to rejoin, but I feel like he was a first boot for a reason. He's just a character not meant to get far. Also, the first boot rejoining might be too obvious to pick, and so far the writers have been avoiding the obvious picks for eliminations and stuff. Hot Dog just doesn't seem like a good pick for a rejoin. A first boot would be too obvious. Rose was someone I thought for sure she would get far. She was first safe, she was consistent throughout the season, and she was part of the Cheaters Alliance. To be honest, it was really strange seeing her get out so early. She was definitely one of the more stronger characters. And it seemed like the writers enjoyed her. It was cool seeing her become more villainous. What makes her chances low is that she is a more recent elimination. Despite her having an early season elimination, she was eliminated an episode ago. So it would be strange just seeing her rejoin despite getting eliminated shortly ago, so I guess despite her massive potential and seeming of more importance, it would be weird having her rejoin despite just being eliminated. Now it's up to the contestants I'm confident are rejoining. It was tough deciding who would rejoin the most, but ultimately I decided. Beach Ball was an unexpected elimination. It seemed like they were gonna be a huge role in the season as they were a part of the Cheaters Alliance and they also had received lots of attention in their episodes. It felt unusual to see them out so early. I feel like they fit for a rejoin. Sticker has lost their whole alliance and needs their buddy back. And that way there are more cheaters for this season once Sticker's gone. Beach Ball seems like a more prominent character during their time in the season, so they'd be pretty good for a rejoin as they'd be given another chance. Like I mentioned, it was strange seeing them get out so early, so I believe they'd be great for a rejoin to get even farther. However, I do think there's one character who has a higher chance of rejoining than them. I'm willing to bet money that Money is rejoining. Because if he isn't rejoining, you can just take him since he'll be eliminated. Jokes aside, I honestly think Money is gonna rejoin. I thought he'd be someone who gets far and I was shocked to see him out so early. Since he was friends with Hot Dog, it felt like they were just targeting the friendship despite Money seeming like someone who'd get far. They're good at challenges, but they're also nice. Currently, the contestants still in are mostly villainous like Sidewalkie, Ruler, Toothpaste, and Sticker. Really the only non-villain ones left are Fern and Needy. There's too many villain characters, so honestly a villain character rejoining would be overbloating. Money would make a great contestant to balance this out as they'd have to use their kindness to get through the challenges and avoid antagonists like Toothpaste and Sidewalkie. Like I mentioned, I thought for sure he'd get far, but maybe this rejoin is a sign that he will. I think money has the highest chance of rejoining. Well, that's it for this short BFDIE video. These are who I think will rejoin. But as for who I want to rejoin, I'd say Rose. To be honest, I'd be okay with anyone rejoining except David. Anyways, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe por favor. Goodbye.